What's the difference of privacy? I did, yes, so.
Presumably active.
I didn't even look. Yes, I believe that too. I always like how they, well, it was chocolates, I guess. Say it wasn't, but. Asking earlier. Did you find your favorites? Did you find your favorites?
No,
Oh, boy.
not coming up. So I just turned on the. Okay, cool. It's not full. Okay. Oh, that's good stuff. Oh. Have it all. Look.
Isn't it, yeah, that's Dora the Explorer, Swiper.
Oh,
Well, I don't know, is Dora the Explorer still on?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Like, that was popular when Grace was young.
Yeah, when my daughter,
And I think she was even Dora for Halloween one year, I think. Or at least one of her friends were, right?
Yeah, that was Steven, that was.
What was her cousin was like Diego? Was that the name of it?
I remember, I know the cartoon, the show was Dora the
Yes, and then they had a counterpart where he was like
He was Diego.
Diego, and he like was in the jungle all the time.
Yeah.
I think that Dora of my
And
years
she was
was
older. It was like a movie like with actual people in it.
Oh, okay, see, I guess she outgrew it. 'Cause we didn't have to-
really like. That's for my years. That's the little green box on the
Well,
side.
my sister's right side.
Yeah.
One I always hated was Caillou. You guys know that one, Caillou? I hate Caillou. I didn't like the idea or the premise of a 3-year-old bald boy.
He always makes me think he worried about everything.
And he was the know-it-all in the room. Never understood the premise.
Yep, I remember that one.
Did you know Caillou? You act like
Yes, I do.
you know exactly what we're talking about.
There you go first.
And there weren't a lot of cartoons, but he was one of them. I was like, Grace, please.
My son was in
Yeah,
SpongeBob.
So my kids never liked it. My son, and he's 15 now, just turned 15. He still likes Gumball, and I have never understood the premise of Gumball. I've never gotten it. I don't understand what it's.
My daughter.
All rise, all rise. The Superior Court of Fulton County, Atlanta Judicial Circuit is now in session. The Honorable Charles Eaton, Judge presiding, court now come to order.
Please be seated. Just sent me a sassy. Morning, everyone. What's the, how do you log in again? What is? Okay. EO:/, and my name. CO:/. Is that right?
Can't we say the forward slash or slash? CO:/, right? Oh, forward slash.
There we go.
Sorry.
All right. One of the casualties letting someone else use the courtroom. Don't do that very often. You have to switch it up. Let's get on to Zoom.
Yes.
The other pick for it?
Mr. Bridges has it.
Okay, we will take announcements. Let's start with the first calendar, position 1, Lizka. And 2, position 1 and 2.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mr. Liska is present. Your Honor, we have, there's 2 positions here. Position, I guess I'll just make my announcement. I'm requesting that these be set off for the December trial calendar. What I can let the court know is position 2 is essentially the more recent one. We had arraignment on that September the 19th. We just entered a not guilty plea. I had received discovery from Mr. Bridges within the last 2 days, as well as a plea offer that contemplates substantial confinement time. It seems like position 2 is really going to be driving the train on this. So I'm not asking for a tremendously long extension of time, but given the fact that we were just arraigned last month and just received discovery, I would ask if this could be set off to give us some more time for me to speak with Mr. Liska, for us to prepare our defense and go through discovery. I'll candidly say, given the fact that it was served to me in the last 2 days and I've been otherwise preparing for that trial on Thursday, I haven't even had a chance to look at the discovery yet. So I would be asking that both positions be moved to the December final plea trial calendar.
Yeah, so it looks like we had you in. It looks like we got ahead of ourselves on this one anyway, because I'd had in my notes, not that it matters, but that we had you in here in September and said, let's give them 60-day reset for November 7th final plea, but you were asking now December?
Yeah, and I think just given what the state's offer is, I want to make sure Mr. Liska and I are really going through this.
We've got a lot on that trial calendar, right? On that November trial calendar. All right. Mr. Bridges?
Further notice to the December trial calendar.
Yeah, well, I'm asking you, which, if you have any objection.
No, Your Honor, I have no objection to further notice to the trial.
All right, we'll do it. You're excused, Mr. Liska. All right, position 3, Walton.
I haven't seen Mr. Walton. Here's one,
All right, so looks like we gave him a free pass last time because he'd been here before. So, Mr. Bridges,
Your Honor, at this time, we ask for this one about.
okay, because he missed the last one too.
Corian Walton, please come into court or your bond be forfeited.
Okay, position 4, Watts.
That's in my case, Judge.
Yes, yeah.
We have a negotiated plea ready on that.
All right. Thank you. Position 5, Thompson. Yeah. What do you have? I mean, the main one I go off of is the Odyssey. Let's look it up. Okay, so we're correct with what we're doing here?
Mr. Jefferson's here.
Wait a minute, Jefferson is here?
He is. Chinwe Foster from Mr. Jeff.
For some reason, he was reset.
He's on November 7th.
October 25th.
Is there an updated calendar set? Because I have them on here. Precious March for the state.
Well, I mean, if all of you are here,
He's here? Okay, well, we'll leave it. And I can't-
well, what's going on with Mr. Jefferson since we're addressing Mr. Jefferson?
And we're just waiting on the trial date, from my understanding.
Correct, but I received discovery at 9:15 a.m. today. I don't know what it is.
It's two prior DNA reports before the last one that was not sent. So it was a DNA typing. And then the second one was the DNA typing, the one that did not have a result because there was no known, that just wasn't sent to you. And then there was the test that, I'm trying to call it, this, the DNA semen screening that just says yes or no to semen. The last one with the most, I guess, pivotal information was served to you prior. I was just going through the file and I saw that those two had not been served, so I went ahead and sent them over.
Okay, yes, Your Honor, so we're ready for trial, if that's what's on the discovery that we were served this morning.
What's the trial date?
It's on, 13th. This month, November 13th.
And it looks like there's a NO outstanding. Is that correct?
We were already heard on that, Your Honor.
Did I mean, I issued an order on it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
What date did you say? You said the 15th? 13th. Okay. I have a leave that was filed in January. I'll be back on the 13th, so 14th. I don't cause any issue. Leave was filed back of this year.
Okay, I know I was reset. There was a notice of conflict for this week,
Yes. that's what's
and,
in
it said that there was a conflict for today, so I reset it for we set the final plea for, November 7th. It says you had a conflict for today.
there. Yeah, I was supposed to start her trial on Monday. It didn't start.
Okay. Set. Okay.
Still on the November 13th trial date or?
Yeah.
That's a 2-week trial calendar, correct?
Yes.
Marsh, okay, I'll speak with Ms. Marsh. I know that there was an issue before. I know the court already told us we couldn't specially set it because we lived in Houston.
I was asking for it to be reset for that, scheduled, especially set for that reason. If the court is not inclined to specially set it, I'd ask that it maybe be first out for the calendar. If it's a 2-week calendar, wait, is that next week Thanksgiving after that? So what is the trial date? Starts on the 13th. And I also have that next week, 20th,
Well, I mean, we're not obviously gonna do it on Thanksgiving,
right?
but,
I was just asking like for potential leave, Judge, I'm sure people will be traveling for the.
oh, yeah, yeah. Well, so again, Ms. Foster, so what's up with the leave that you scheduled?
I filed a leave in January of 2023 with my dates, and then I refiled it in September. So I will be out from November 9th through November 13th. I will be back on the 14th. And then I will be on leave again on November 21st through November 27th. This is filed in January and then refiled again in September.
There's another trial that's specially set. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, we'll, let's schedule in the next week or so let's do a case management by Zoom with the attorneys for that trial week. Or do we already have one scheduled in person? Like a case management, just to see where everything's at before trial. A case management? All right. But that of course falls in her. I'll tell you what, let's keep it on for right now, but I'm probably gonna get on the phone with both of y'all over the next few days. I've just got to get a feel for how this calendar is developing. I know you've got out-of-state witnesses.
Yes, Judge, and I'll need at least 10 days to do the interstate. So,
It's an interstate compact.
yes, there are a few out-of-state witnesses. And so typically that process takes 10 to 14 days. So, I would like ample time to get that done, Judge.
Okay. I'll tell you what, if you don't hear from me over the next couple of days, don't be shy about emailing me and copying Foster. Just to make sure that I don't forget this.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Okay.
Can we be excused?
Yes, you're excused.
I need to see one.
You're excused. So that means Gabriel is removed from the calendar. Whatever we have him scheduled, next calendar.
From the November 14th, 13th trial calendar.
No.
The November 7th final plea calendar.
I guess leave him on that for now, just in case. All right. All right, so Watts has negotiated plea. Position 5, Thompson.
You know, we had previously announced in speaking with Mr. Thompson's friend or his family that he is deceased. I had provided Ms. Clark earlier, I think back in August, emails in regard to when it was in non-complex, before it was transferred here, that he was in renal failure, which is why they were seeking a null pros at that point. That was provided to Ms. Clark, and she wants us to provide a death certificate. Our office is not going to pay for that. If they want to issue a bench warrant for a dead person, it'll be at the stake.
Mr. Bridges. What?
I've never had such an issue with a dead person.
Ms. Jones playing hardball over there, you know.
Over soap.
I will get my investigator to get the death certificate and issue a null process once we verify the.
Thank you. It's a good point. It's a theft by shoplifting charge, so it's.
Laundry soap, Your Honor.
Let's try to keep it in perspective, so. All right, we'll get. Position, so you'll follow up on that, Mr. Bridges?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, position 6, Lee.
Lee wasn't here. He may be out in the hall. Yeah. he was present. I don't know if he's.
Well, you don't have to, I mean, we're just doing announcements. I'll take your word on that. But what's the announcement on Lee?
We just received discovery on the case last week, as well as a plea offer from the state. I don't see that he's on, the plea offer also involves substantial confinement time. I don't see that he's on the November 13th trial calendar. I'd ask if it would just go on a trial calendar after that, given the recency of discovery, but I think we probably prepared in December if it were to be called a trial.
Yeah, but these backups. Let's put it on a December trial calendar. So Mr. Lee's excused if he. Let him know that he's on a December trial calendar, though.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position 7, Yarborough Abrams.
Mr. Yarborough, Your Honor, did not appear, I believe, in the last scheduled final plea calendar. I don't see him here today.
Hey, Mr. Bridges.
Your Honor, we asked for a bench warrant, forfeiture on that case.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Xavier Yarborough Abrams. Xavier Yarborough Abrams. Please come into court or your bond will be forfeited.
Position 8, Pierce.
Your Honor, before you get to Pierce, I need to walk back over to my office. My computer died and I need to take that plea, so.
For Pierce?
Yeah, no. I'm saying for
For
plots, yes.
What paperwork do you?
Plea copy.
That I can't.
Yeah.
You wanna take this?
We've still got a few announcements. I mean,
I don't have anything else after that, but that's why I said I'm gonna run away.
oh, okay. I thought you want me to shut down for,
No,
okay,
no,
okay.
no.
No, yeah, no problem, no problem.
You need anything? Yeah. Okay, I'll step in. No, it's the computer itself.
Well, you can leave, Mr. Bridges.
So people says I can use it.
Oh, okay. So position 8, Pierce. Oh, Mr. Pierce is here.
Ms. Pierce.
Ms. Pierce, I'm sorry.
I am present on that, Your Honor. My understanding, I'm not real sure where Ms. Willingham is. It's a domestic. It was continued from the August court date because Ms. Iqbal was ill and I didn't have an offer. I still don't have an offer. Haven't spoken to the state in regard to the case. I've tried. So, but I'm comfortable putting it on a December docket. Maybe that'll resolve it. Or January.
All right, so I remember you, Miss Pierce. We modified bond. I'm glad you're here. You want to wait and see somebody from the,
It's a pleasure of the court because I know it's been continued a few times, so I don't have any type of offer or any inkling as to what the state wants to do in regard to this case. But
see if you can get a hold of Willingham. Just,
Your Honor, we're gonna reach out to them and see if we can get somebody.
all right, why don't you just stick around for a minute? Because I don't want to be in this situation a month from now. When we. All right. Position 9, Rogers. Two positions? Okay, so yeah, so there's 2 positions. There's also on the add-on calendar as well.
yes, Your Honor, he is appearing via Zoom. He emailed me this morning in regard to a childcare issue. His child got sick last night, so he needed to stay with the child today, couldn't find a babysitter. His position is the same position, Your Honor. I do not have an offer in regard to the case. It was continued last time because Ms. Iqbal was sick, and our position hasn't changed. I have no inkling in terms of what the state wants to do in regard to the case or a particular offer, but I have received discovery. And I know Ms. Willingham sent me some discovery yesterday at around 5:05. I haven't had a chance to review it, and I'm not sure if it's supplementary, but I have received initial discovery at least.
All right, Mr. Rogers, why don't you hold on for a minute and see if we can at least get the prosecutor in here, or she can come on Zoom if you need her. Give her that option as well if she wants to. Just want to hear from her and make sure that she'll be ready next time if we. Position 10, Mill.
That would be me, Your Honor.
All right.
Mr. Mills is present, Your Honor. I just received discovery in this case last week, and as I told Mr. Peoples, I don't blame him. There's a constant revolving door sometimes in regard to prosecutors, and I wasn't able to secure any. This is actually a pretty serious case. It's obviously aggravated child molestation with a minimum mandatory of 25 if it's a split. Mr. Peoples and I have been in negotiations actually and speaking. I would request just to be placed on another final plea docket so I have a chance to review the discovery, most importantly with my client, because I haven't had a chance to do that, and speak to him in terms of what we really actually need to do with this, because it's a prison case, Your Honor,
Yeah.
potentially. We're still standing on our not guilty.
I concur with defense, except for not guilty.
You just received your discovery?
Last week, Your Honor, and I know Mr. Peoples was in trial, but he was actually able to get it to me, so it's not a Mr. Peoples issue. It was just.
No, I get it. And we're not talking about soap, so.
Right, no, I mean, Mr. Peoples has actually been very, very, very diligent in getting things to me since he's been in this courtroom, so not disparaging him in any way.
Okay.
And we would be open to another final plea, Your Honor, as well.
Well, so when do you want to schedule this for, Ms. Jones?
I think if we just place it to the final plea in December with a January trial date, that should be plenty of time, Your Honor.
All right. Did you hear, Kathy? Okay. All right, Mr. Mills, we're gonna reset this. Did you hear all that? Okay. All right, we'll reset it. You're excused. Position 11, Allison. Allison's here. Okay, I see Mr. Allison.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here. I still represent Mr. Allison. I spoke with him this morning. He informed me that he is hiring Scott Forsmith. I believe we were just potentially conveyed an offer. If we were, it was within the last day or so, but I would ask that it be reset. I mean, it seems like he has a relationship with Mr. Portas and intends to hire him.
Who did you get an offer from? Because I have it down at Willingham or?
I was just looking to see if I had or not. I wasn't sure since I received several from Mr. Bridges.
Because I have this down as an Iqbal case.
It is, and I shouldn't have spoken out of turn. I actually don't have an offer.
Okay, all right, that makes more sense. What? All right, that's what I figured. All right, so Mr. Allison, why don't you come on up for a minute?
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine.
So I just want to get some clarity. So you have hired Mr. Fortis, or you plan to hire Mr.
Yeah,
Fortis?
I have. I just had a visit with him yesterday, and he just told me that since it was so late that he like, could you reset the final plea calendar or something? He told me to come and ask you that. But he represented me on my last case. I
All
just
right,
had.
you don't need to talk.
Oh,
I don't mean to be rude, but I'm protecting you.
I understand.
I'm just asking just general questions about
Yeah.
your attorney.
All right.
So that's the only reason I cut you off. Let me see here. All right, we'll reset your case. If you can, just tell Mr. Fortis he needs to file an entry of appearance on your behalf, okay?
Okay, I'll do that today.
So we have a record and we're not sending all your stuff to Mr. Clark.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
All right, you're excused.
Thank you.
All right.
Your Honor, that concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yep, you're excused. So you're ready for tomorrow?
Yes, subject to the state. Suppose. I'm not sure where they're at with that. I haven't heard from Mr. Miller. So
All right. 30 days. Yeah, December. All right, we'll reset it for December. Have you, Mr. Clark, Mr. Clark, have you talked with Mr. Miller recently, or?
I've reached out to him. I know he's out of office, said that he was in trial.
Okay.
He had said that he was in front of Lethbridge till 25th. I reached out to him last week. Hadn't heard back.
Yeah.
That's why it's a mystery to me.
Yeah.
Especially given the nature of the case and
Yeah.
the fact that there's several out-of-state witnesses that were listed on the previous filing. So.
All right. Okay.
I can set out. Today he was in trial, but I know they included.
Well, I'm not sure there's much I can do. I mean, we're as far as I know, we've got his client. The only thing that I want to make sure of, and I guess we'll know tomorrow, is, I have a lot of things scheduled, and this has happened to me, it took about 100 times for it to happen to me till I finally figured it out. I'm going to cancel all those things. And then for some reason, the trial's not going to go forward, and I'm going to have an empty week. And as everybody knows, all these things dominoes. If I don't have this, then I don't have that in the future. So that's the only thing that's going through my mind. So, but I mean, I haven't heard anything to the contrary. So, all right. Mr. Melnick,
Yes, Judge.
it looks like we've got one final plea today on the final plea calendar. We don't have anything with you, Ms. Jones?
We're just holding for my two domestic.
Oh, that's right, Willingham. And you've reached out to Willingham?
She's on the way.
Okay. Oh,
It's like,
all right. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Melnick, let's do this first, and then we'll do, my apologies. And here we were talking and okay, so why don't you tell me which cases those are again, Miss Jones? Let's see here. All right, I see one of them is Pierce.
yeah, position 9. Miss,
We'll have it as 8, but it doesn't matter. So this is 22 SC 185380 Trevisa Pierce, who's represented by Miss Jones. We have Miss Willingham with the state. Go ahead. I guess Miss Jones, you can repeat what you said earlier.
yes, so I haven't had a chance, last time this was on the docket, I didn't have a chance to speak with Ms. Iqbal. She was ill. Now we have Ms. Willingham here. I've had a chance to speak to her in regard to an offer or what she really wants to do with this case, Your Honor. I'm happy to pre-try it today with Ms. Willingham. If she has been versed in the case, I know that she's first week, Your Honor, so I don't want to throw her under the bus.
I know it's your first week, but seems like every week it's somebody's first week,
Well,
but.
Judge, I volunteered to take on this courtroom.
Uh-oh, so you trying to say I can't be that mean about it because you volunteer? I'm kidding
No,
you.
I mean that I will be here, at least to my knowledge, for a little while. I've been working diligently this morning to try and get through calendars. So I will go ahead and try and get a offer. I don't know that I can give her one right now.
Okay.
But
I'm only kidding you. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do with this?
if she can give me till close the business tomorrow, I can give her an offer to start on both cases.
Okay,
And I know that doesn't help the court today, but I will definitely get, and I'm sorry, I can, yes, yeah, because there are two different DD cases on the calendar.
Yes.
So neither one of them I haven't been on.
we had, I honestly, before you arrived and Ms. Jones and I had already discussed, I'm comfortable resetting these for both 30 days. I just wanted you to come down and make sure we were all on the same page because I didn't want 30 days for you to say, well, I need to, I've got some other stuff I have to do on it. That's all.
No, Judge, I will look through it. If there's anything that I'm missing or anything, I will immediately let Ms. Jones know.
Yes, and there is a previous police report that I provided that I will go ahead again, provide to Ms. Willingham, so she has it in regard to my client being a victim of the complaining witness in this particular case, which I think has bearing on the resolution. So I think a 30-day reset is probably appropriate, and I think that at that point we can come to a resolution if there is one to be had.
Okay. And position 9, where's Rogers again? Oh, he's online. So can you make sure you're talking to the microphone for a minute, Ms. Pierce, just so Mr. Rogers, are you there? Okay.
Yes,
All right. So I don't know if you heard that, but your case is pertinent as well. There's a new prosecutor on the case. She's not prepared to make an offer today to your attorney. And so we're planning to reset this for 30 days to get everybody up to speed on your case.
And I will note, just so the state is aware, he does have also 22 SC 185405. I'm not sure that made the docket or if it was on a add-on, but that is actually, looks like a criminal damage. I'm not sure if Mr. Bridges has that or if that's going to be Ms. Willingham as well. But both cases need an offer or at least a discussion in regard to a resolution if it's a shorter trial potentially.
So
Is it, okay, so I bet it's.
All right. So everybody's comfortable resetting this for 30 days? Ms. Willingham, so you're good?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
When do you think we're going to have somebody permanent?
That is me.
Oh,
Yes, Judge, I will let the court know, I bounce between this courtroom, Judge McBurney, Judge McAfee, and I cover in Judge Edwards at times. So I will always give the court notice when I start someplace else.
so you're going to be balancing 4 judges?
Yes, Judge.
Because I remember your previous was balancing 2.
Yes, Judge.
All right. So I feel like I'm giving you a heart attack here as I'm discussing all of this.
Yes. However, luckily I have been in Judge McBurney and Judge McAfee for quite some time, so I'm extremely familiar with most of those cases already. I just have to get a little familiar with this caseload and then.
Edwards as well. I thought I shared Iqbal with Adams.
You did. Someone else is taking that courtroom. That's going to be ADA Charles is going into there,
Okay.
and she's in trial now.
Okay. All right. Well, you're excused.
Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
All right. All right, Mr. Melnick. Mr. Peoples, you're excused, and Ms. Jones, you're excused when you want to be excused, and Mr. Melnick. Poor Miss Willingham, she's feeling like she's gonna have a heart attack out there. That's taken out a lot. Okay. Thank you. So this is 23 SC 186417. Rodriguez Bernard Watts, who's present in the courtroom with his attorney, Mr. Melnick, and we have Mr. Bridges with the state. Mr. Bridges, you have a negotiated plea to present?
Yes, Your Honor, we have a negotiated plea for your consideration.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Watts, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this manner currently before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Please state your true and correct legal name.
Rodriguez Bernard Wax.
Are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
No, sir.
Is there a medication that you normally take that you have not been given today?
No, sir.
How old are you?
38.
What is your highest level of education you have completed?
GED.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you are charged with the following offense? Possession of meth, which carries a sentence of 1 to 8 years. Possession of a firearm by during the commission of a felony, which carries a sentence of 5 years to serve consecutive to anything the judge would give you. Defective windows tint, 12 months, and use of a firearm by a convicted felon, which carries a sentence up to 1 to 15 years in jail.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
Have you reviewed the waiver of rights forms and also known as a plea of guilty form with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Have you signed that form?
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to speak with your lawyer, Mr. Melnick, about all the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charges in this indictment, including any potential defense?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand, do you need more time to speak to your attorney?
No, sir.
Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do.
Do you waive any and all defects, including any respect to your client's name?
We do. I'm not aware of any defects.
Do you understand that neither the court, I'm sorry, Mr. Watts, do you understand that neither the court nor the district attorney office has anything to do with parole or the Department of Correction or the Board of Pardon Parole, and no one can guarantee you parole?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand this is a negotiated plea of guilty, which means that there will be a joint recommendation of the state to the court of a sentence of 10 years to serve 1 year, commuted time served, the balance on probation, and that sentence will be, you will plead guilty to count 1 and 2. In addition to your sentence, you will have no drug and alcohol, no drugs and alcohol,
No firearms.
no firearms or replica
Right.
Um,
No posting pictures of firearms on social media.
on social media,
Mhm. And then there was a behavior incentive date of 3 years.
and the behavior center date of 3 years,
Maintain gainful employment.
and maintain gainful employment.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that? Do you understand that, however, the court does not have to accept that recommendation? The court can sentence you to the maximum on each charge and can run those sentences consecutively or one after the other.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if the court decides to order a sentence that is different from negotiated plea, you may have the right to withdraw that guilty plea?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that this plea may be used to enhance on other sentence convictions jurisdiction as well as including the federal court?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if you're currently on probation or parole, your probation or parole may be revoked based on the guilty plea today?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if you are placed on probation or of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental units or special conditions of probation without being subject to revocation of the balanced sentence?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you are not allowed to possess or use a firearm while on probation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Watts, are you a United States citizen?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of your guilty conviction, just as there would be from a conviction following a trial? For example, your guilty plea may affect your right to vote, the right to hold office, the right and the ability to gain employment.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defense, by entering a guilty plea today?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you give up the following rights by entering a guilty plea today? Do you understand that you by pleading guilty, you give up the right to a trial by jury, Do you understand that you, by pleading guilty, you give up the right to a trial by jury and the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you, by pleading guilty, you give up the right to confront witnesses against you?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up the right to assistant counsel hired by you, a court-appointed counsel, if you cannot afford an attorney at trial of your case?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the right to presumption of innocence?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the right to testify on your own behalf and present other evidence?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up the right to subpoena witnesses and compel the production of evidence?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up the right to have the charges against you proven beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand by pleading guilty, you are giving up the right to appeal if you're convicted of these charges after trial?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you, threatened you, or promised you anything to enter a guilty plea today?
No, sir.
Is it your decision to waive these rights and enter a guilty plea because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the charges in indictment number 23 SC 186417, possession of meth and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony?
Guilty.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntary given with full knowledge of the charge against you?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you may have only a limited right to appeal this guilty plea?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that unless counsel submit or permitted to withdraw, you will have until the end of this current term or 30 days from the day's date, whichever is later, to withdraw your plea?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have only 4 years to file what we call a habeas corpus challenge the voluntariness of your plea?
Yes, sir.
You understand that any filings you have just discussed may be by your attorney unless you are represented yourself?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, had this matter gone to trial, the state would have shown that on October the 30th, 2021, Mr. Watts was stopped in Fulton County. Upon stopping, the officer smelled marijuana in the car. A search incident to arrest revealed there was 2.1 grams of MDMA, 1.2 grams of meth, and 48 grams of THC edibles in the car. Mr. Watts was arrested and taken to Fulton County Jail.
Okay. What sort of record does he have?
He has a 2004 conviction for armed robbery, aggravated assault, and hijacking.
Okay, Mr. Melnick?
Thank you, Judge. So this is a negotiated plea. Mr. Watts, as a result of that conviction that Mr. Bridges just referred to, ended up serving, I want to say, was it 15 years in prison, 18 years
I served
altogether?
3 years on my sentence.
Right.
I served 15. I served 18 years.
Right. So, and it was honestly, he ended up serving 3 years longer than he was supposed to because there was an issue with his paperwork, with the way his sentence was filled out. It was what was pronounced in court was different from how the sentence form was filled out, and I actually had to go through a whole lot to get him out of jail. And then as a result of this arrest, he ended up serving about 240 days in custody, if I remember correctly. So he has already done a significant amount of jail time. There was also a motion to suppress that I filed on this case, Judge, that quite honestly had some merit to it that we've agreed to obviously waive by virtue of entering this plea. Mr. Watts is working, he does construction. And obviously this incident itself took place almost 2 years ago. So we're asking that you accept the negotiated plea.
Okay.
And I'm sorry. There was a behavior incentive date of 3 years that was part of our negotiation.
Yeah, you mentioned that
Okay,
before.
thank you.
You mentioned that when you were going over. So Mr. Watts, you understand the nature of the charge against you?
Yes, sir.
You have just heard ADA Bridges explain all the rights you give up by entering this guilty plea. Is it your wish to give up these rights and have this court accept your plea of guilty?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the court is not bound by the recommendation or the plea agreement, and I can sentence you as I deem appropriate?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Melnick, are you satisfied that your client is competent in understanding that the plea is voluntary, that there's sufficient factual basis for entering the plea?
Yes, Judge.
All right, I find there's sufficient factual basis for the charges. I also find your plea of guilty to be knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered. I'll accept your guilty plea and sentence you to the recommended sentence as follows, which is count 1, possession of methamphetamine, 10 Tend to serve, what did we say? Tend to serve one commuted to time served,
That's
right?
correct. Reduced time.
Balance on probation.
Your Honor. It
Yes,
actually has to be 8 years to serve one, because
That's correct.
there's 8 years max on this one.
That is correct. That is.
the other one is the 10.
No, Your Honor, the other one's 5
Five,
years.
and it's 5, that would have to be 5 consecutive and suspended. So I guess the sentence would have to be 8 to serve one. Because that's the most that he can get, right?
Yes, correct.
Right.
Okay, well, I appreciate the correction. So it's 8 to serve one, commuted to time served, balance on probation. Oh, that's right. Possession is, so count 2 is 5 to serve consecutive suspended,
That's
correct?
correct.
Okay. All right. And then no drugs or alcohol,
Correct, Your Honor.
pardon me?
No, yes, correct.
Yeah,
Your Honor.
correct. All right. No firearms or replica of firearms. No, specifically on top of that, no social media posts containing firearms or replicas of firearms. There's a behavioral incentive day of 3 years. And you were to maintain gainful employment, which is in construction.
Yes, sir.
So see your goat. What are you the goat of?
The boat host, where I just go up and down levels, helping the workers go up and down
Oh.
levels.
Now see your goat. What are you the goat of?
It's just the niggas out here, the niggas so long.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you for so the other 2 charges, 3 and 4 are null pros, to be clear. So you don't know hopefully you're not going to be the go to taking pleas, right? You're done
No,
with
sir.
this.
Not me. No, sir.
All right. And what kind of construction you do again?
Yeah, be the boat host. I take the workers up and down the level.
All right. All right. Well, stick to that.
Yes,
And remember, no drugs or alcohol, no firearms.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
All right. You're excused.
Judge, were y'all starting a trial on Thursday? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Potentially,
Potentially, yeah.
because we have motions Monday
Do I see it?
afternoon.
Yes, that's
why I
it.
was
The
asking.
address. That's the one.
We do, to be honest with you. I want to let everybody know.
751.
I want to work through tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
If you actually start, okay,
Okay.
sure.
That's my
Okay.
office anyway.
I just wanted to
All
make
right,
sure.
thank you.
And you had mentioned trial the week of November the 13th. That's not the Satterwhite case, is it? That you said was specially set for the week of the 13th. He's asking if it's the Satterwhite case. That's okay. Yeah, I mean. How about that?
Especially set one would be number 1, right? I don't know which one. You got Bridges is number 1. Not the one especially set.
Bridges. No relation.
Maybe that's my case.
Yeah, 13. I hadn't received.
Yeah, what I'm saying is there especially set one for that.
Oh, for this week?
No, the 13th.
Yes, Ingram and Little.
They should be listed number 1 on here. But Ingram and Little is number 1 on there. So but regardless, it's not.
It's not that. Thank you, Judge.
Oh, y'all have a good day.
All right.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you put them as number 1 so we know it. Okay. How are you doing? And Lieutenant Gibson, appreciate you coming in.
You're welcome, Judge. No problem, sir. Yes.
I thought you were higher than
Well, Sheriff, actually, people promoted me to captain back in July, but I declined it.
that.
Because I declined it for, yeah, I had a meeting with him and he understood. He understood. He understood.
Likes us.
Yeah, I didn't want to go where I was going to go.
Take a wild guess on that.
Yes, sir. But y'all might be back with you. I may not. So anyway, we'll have someone back with you at 1 o'clock, right?
No, I got canceled.
They got canceled?
Yeah.
You down for a minute? Okay. Okay.
We don't need anybody.
Yes, sir. Okay, everybody.
All right, we'll see you.
Yes, sir.
I'll sign it now. I was just making sure. I didn't like holding Gibson for me to sign paperwork.
Oh, okay.
Once you come back in the office, I'll sign it.
What?
Nothing.
Gibson,
What you need, Judge?
he follows the rules.
Judge, you wanna do an OTA?
What?
You wanna do an OTA on somebody?
OT.
Order to apprehend?
Why? Somebody waiting?
I thought you wanna do OTA on one
Oh.
of them. All right, guys, see y'all.
Have a good one.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Y'all too, be safe. Make sure nobody's back there. No inmates back there. Let's see. Check.
We shouldn't have it.
No, I think next door. Yeah.
Okay, so this, we have December. No, I mean, I get it, we asked for the additional staff, and like, push everything else. I just put the stuff on like that. So there is no final meeting for December. It's at, it's November, right? So there is no, it's in November, but it's the week before the. I know, that's. It's not before actually December for final meetings. We don't have a final plea date scheduled in the month of December for a January count. Okay, the final plea, so that's for a final plea for January. Is what I'm saying. A trial. Okay, there is nothing. Yeah, so that's fine.
We down for the remainder. So I'm gonna call it down.
Hey, right.
Cap, don't start.
So nobody word. I don't know, he did.
Cap, don't start.
all
morning.
That was.
First thing out of her mouth, comes down the hallway.
It was Cap. All right, Cap, when we meet you up there on the 9th floor?
That's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna call it down. See y'all.
All right, see ya.
Okay.
You ready, y'all? All right, Mary, have a good one. You guys have a good one. Be
Yeah,
safe.
they only send me to fire.
Put them out.
Show them how it's done.
Not start.